Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afkar, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. So very happy to have you with us today, whether live or on replay. And yeah, also very happy that Natalia MacLeod is back on the show. She joined us the last season, and yeah, really love her work. And I was also like impressed how she worked with the audience one-on-one and how powerful um, the energy work that she did with them, and also received feedback afterward um, from some of you who worked with her, and really they share how authentic she is and how really she shares from love and she supports from love, and it's really something how to say beautiful to see and to witness, but also it's what we need now. We are stepping more into a time where we really create and co-create from authenticity, and we are stepping into more heart-centered ways to serve ourselves and others. And yeah, so today will be the subject today is convening with heart energy to create joy, love, and abundance. So yeah, so Natalie will be sharing about that, about going deep into um, the heart center energy, and really bringing the energy of like I mentioned, joy, love, and abundance into our body, and so we can find more balance into how to say into our spiritual and physical realities that we are creating. And also, she will guide us on meditation, so it will be a powerful one. Stay tuned for that. And also, we'll have a Q&A in the last part of the call. So for that, you can raise your hand by pressing *9 on your phone, or by pressing reactions, then raise hand on Zoom app. And also, you can type your questions and also comments on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. And yeah, so for those of you who are new to Natalia, what she does is Attune Energy Healing and working with sacred geometry, the chakra system, frequency codes, and vibration to shift emotional and physical blockages. And yeah, so with that, Natalia, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Mansa. Thank you for inviting me back.
Wonderful.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you. So I guess I'll speak a little bit about the topic.
Yes.
Convening with the energies of joy, love, and abundance seemed fitting because I believe that at the beginning of every year, people set out to do things that are new or shift things in their life. And that's wonderful. And I do work with a lot of people that come to me for, physical pains and injuries or even emotional things that they want to work through and clear. And it's quite often that we can shift those and move those quite easily within the session. And sometimes that's, one ailment can be gone pretty easily, but then they might find that there's something something else might come in, or that they can't sustain it. And so what I like to share with people is that when we want to switch something in our life, whether it's a physical injury or just living in more joy, more happiness in our everyday life, I think we've heard this enough. We can do gratitude practices and we can do many different things to sort of get us into that place, but how do we sustain it? And so what I've noticed in my work is that it's no different sustaining healing an injury, whether it's like a sore shoulder or hip pain or something, or more severe like back injury. It's no different than shifting an emotional frequency that we're holding, whether it's that we're frustrated or we're always tired or low energy or any of the sort of things that we want to improve in our life. we have to raise our vibration, we hear. And we hear that a lot in the spiritual community. So when I was meditating, I guess back in December, I was like, well, what is that when you raise your vibration? Because I feel it when I go into meditation, but I've been meditating a long time. And I'm one of those people that like can't wait to meditate. I'm like, ooh, I get to go meditate. And if you left me there for 6 hours, I'd be quite content. But when you come out of it, you have real life. So there is this idea that we are here to have a life and to have the experiences we have in our day. And, we hear them all the time. Someone does something or says something, and especially in this world, it triggers us. But that feeling is coming from somewhere. So when I work, I do believe in the chakra system. And as you said in the intro, I do believe that we have to find even if that's not a practice that someone has, you have to find a way to move through the body, in the body that's on this physical plane, being to simplify, we'll say the first three embodied chakras, being the root and the sacral and the solar plexus. But then we actually have to go up to the heart, and the heart is the connection from the celestial and from the earth. So it's that balancing point. It's also, as much as they say the solar plexus is your power point, it is your outwardly power in this 3D reality. But our real power is from love. And our real joy is from love. And our real abundance is also from love. It's from this heart center. So it's always key when you work in the heart center and to move into that beautiful space that is right in between the front and the back of the heart center, the chakras that are shaped like cones, and they go outward and right through the center line of the body. In many traditions, some traditions, they call it the assemblage point. In Vedanta, it's the pearl. In that spot, there is a divinity and a wholeness that we all hold. And if you focus on that, and then from there can pull in a frequency, and it doesn't have to be something, even a memory, because memories are attached to certain times and people, and sometimes those can carry something. Sometimes it can just be an idea of what is joy, what is love, what is abundance. If you can hold on to that frequency and you can start to move into that frequency, and you realize that nothing has to shift in your life to hold that, the other stuff starts to fall away or drop down, because it is the highest frequency. And we know this from every wisdom teaching that's ever been. Love is the highest frequency, and joy and abundance are just part. I put those in because they're almost like the steps to realizing what love is. Love is full. And when we say unconditional love, it's almost an oxymoron, because love isn't conditional. But joy is that essence of love. It's that bubbling over. And abundance is another layer of showing us how there is no love is so infinite, and there is no limitation. There is no container that can hold it. It's that full. It's just abundant, right? So feeling into those emotions when I was in meditation a few months ago, I was like, wow, nothing needs to change. And when you are walking out of feeling that way, even if you drop into that for a few minutes in a day, it allows any of the other blockages to fall away, because they are a lower frequency. And I'm not saying that you do that and then your hip pain will automatically go away. But maybe if you did that and then you went and saw your acupuncturist, or then you went and did yoga or took a walk in nature, the other stuff would fall away, because the other stuff comes in. And we discussed this a lot in the first time we met, comes in first as an energy and then is matter. So the energy always informs matter. So it's always outside of our field. It's always outside of what we're vibrating. And then it's what we are. So we are joyful and people can feel it. We are angry and people can feel it. That's the vibration that informs matter. So I guess it was fun for me to just let's just play with this and pulling the energies in. And when you pull those energies in and you can sustain them in the heart center, then you get to sort of play with like, oh, this is happening irregardless of anything else that's occurring in my life. And nothing actually has shifted other than my vibration. It's also really empowering because a lot of people come to me to heal them. But as I've shared with you and I share with every client, I don't heal you. I just allow for you to find that place in your own self, in your own divinity, to be healed. And I might move away the cobwebs and bring in a frequency that is higher and remind you of where you're already perfect and complete and whole. And yes, if I can pull through some pain, then you'll have more energy in which to do the things that are really important. Because that's a lot of what I find is that people have a physical pain, and that occupies so much of our mind space and our energy. And that's, to me, when that's gone, then there's all this energy that's been opened up in which they can go, oh, now what do I want to create? Because my mind is not focused on that. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's empowering. It's more about co-creation between you and the person working with you. And yeah, as you were describing joy and abundance and their energy in our energy field, I thought about the times where we start, what you say, maybe creating that energy within, feeling it. And if the time is a little bit long between the energetic and then the physical, then something else happens. We start feeling maybe anxious or fearful, or so.
Right.
Why do we feel that? And maybe how can we maybe start creating beyond time and really embrace that true power, true
Yeah,
creative power?
that's a great point and a great question, because that's our human experience, right? We leave a beautiful vacation and we're feeling great, and then we have this idea that our life's going to be wonderful when we return, and then it's like, wait, nothing's shifted. Or, as you said, it could just be a meditation or a workshop or something, because we don't give that time. In that time, we're holding on, in my opinion, we're holding on to an idea and a construct of how fast it's going to show up and how and we're sort of programmed in our society and in the world we live in to expect it instantly, which things do happen instantly, but not with the constructs that we put on it. So I always share with people that I'm working with, we have an idea of something that is wrong. So if you're in a car accident, let's say someone fender benders you think, wow, and you may have started your day off beautifully, and everything seems to go downhill from there, because all of a sudden in your energy field, you think, what did I do wrong? How, you might call the person names or something, and you think they've just ruined my whole day. And you're all of that idea and sort of running into the future, what you're going to have to do now to fix your fender bender. It's all an idea that it's wrong and bad. And the minute that happens, everything starts to tumble down like an avalanche, like your whole day is wrong and bad. And everyone you get on the phone with, it's, this horrible thing. But little do you know that you go, let's just say you got a fender bender and you speak to the insurance and they say, you know what, you're actually going to be compensated this much. And then you go to the car dealership and you meet the love of your life at the car dealership. That is how life works. but we only see in this narrow, vision that it's going to be all beautiful up until the point where I meet the love of my life. But that's not how life works. So life has just offered you this beautiful way that you're going to meet the love of your life. But you just put on these narrow lenses and gone, oh, so you've gone down this deep, dark sort of place, and oh, this is all terrible, blah, blah, blah. And then only 3 weeks later, there's a reveal that, oh, you meet, and you tell the story years later of how you and your, husband or wife met. And even then, you've forgotten that you had a really, you tell it in a story, but it's distance enough that you say, God, I didn't tell you that I had 4 horrible days in a row because I was so mad about this fender bender. But that's what we do. And we do that all the time. And it's not easy to say, well, there must be something good that happened here. And I'm not saying that, but it's opening that vision to see that what we see is not the complete picture. And I remember the first time that happened to me was, I was really young, I was about 16, and I wanted to buy a car, my first car. And the car I wanted, this is back, like looking like, which car are we going to get? I was just like a used car or something that I was allowed to get. And it wasn't available. And I remember thinking, and I don't know where this thought came from, it wasn't mine to get. Someone else was supposed to have that car. And the idea that I didn't know why, and I didn't know, it wasn't woe is me. It was, okay, that wasn't meant to be, in a really pure way, because you don't know if the universe just handed you a gift, or the universe just said, no, you're going to have to try another route, and you're going to have to get on the bus a few more weeks before you drive, because you have no idea, and we probably never will. But it's loosening the framework that we put everything in. And so that's why, when I started playing with, like, okay, how do we convene, which is just another word for gather? How do we gather the energies of these really beautiful vibration of everything that is, and gather that and hold it in such a way that when things like that happen, I know I can sustain it for a little longer, because the main vibration that I'm working with or holding is one of openness. And because under love is, like I said, joy and abundance, openness, less constructs. I mean, when you start holding that as one of the main pillars, the other stuff starts to fall away because it doesn't resonate with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So it's more about, how to say, it can also help like to take things more lightly, because we can be really surprised by how things will show up for us in ways that we don't expect. And many times when we try, we are maybe so stressed about how and when it makes the situation a little bit challenging. And also you mentioned that when you were talking about when 2 people meet and then they start sharing their story and they forget about the challenges, because, as you say, I think it's something, it's a bliss it's part of us as humans that we forget. And also it reminds us that everything is temporary. It will not last, like the pain or the challenge or anything like that. That was beautiful. And yeah.
I was going to say, the only thing that does last is love.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other stuff sort of, even when you look, and whenever something is occurring with someone and it continues to happen, I always want to pose the question of, what is it that you have to forgive, or who is it that you have to forgive, whether it's yourself or someone else, because that's a stagnant holding of, something. And energy, it doesn't matter if it's energy in the body or energy, of a thought. Energy wants to move and flow. and move and flow is motion. So it's changing. It's always changing. So anytime we find ourselves holding on to a relationship, holding on to a job, holding on to an age that we were, holding on to anything in our life is stagnation. And stagnation causes that like friction where it's almost like a volcano, wants to build up and then it blows. And it's not that we want to let everything go, but we have to see that there's a beauty in everything. Like I said, with this silly little story about the fender bender and falling in love or meeting the love of your life, you don't know what it's there to show you. And as you pointed out, exactly, we forget, right? We forget that we were in a bad mood for 4 days before, or we brush it off. But there's definitely in our body, and I see it, a constriction. So sometimes when someone's holding a pain in their body, or like arthritis, we know is a lot of stagnant anger and inability to express. So sometimes when I break up arthritis in someone's body, I'll see that there was, it's not just that it was a physical holding, but also that there was in a lot of times in the throat, like they were either withholding their truth, or someone was not allowing them to speak their truth and be their truth. So there's a constriction. So we can see in nature too, like everything flows, and there's always destruction, and then there's like this. So we have to look at our life as, even if it goes like this, that's okay. That there's a destruction and then there's a rebirth, destruction and then a rebirth. And that's kind of how we grow as well. And there are going to be times where it's going to be uncomfortable, but that's where you go back to that place. Like, this is uncomfortable and I don't have to sit in it. I can just move through it. And when you try and bypass it, well, no, it'll just come knock you back upside the head or somewhere else. And then you got to go through it again. So it's like, it's that idea of allowing it to move through you, which is what energy is doing. As we said, it's just always just moving. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also we hear a lot about the detachment, but sometimes like we feel triggered by that because we think that we will not like have like a full experience. It's like we will be detached emotionally from it. So like, how do you see, what is your perspective about that? And how
that's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I love that you say that, because you're like, when you hear Buddhists, there's like a non-attachment, but then you think, but I want something, I desire something. And that's a very natural thing. And desire is very healthy. We are born to have desires. We're here to have and make manifest our desires. I just got goosebumps saying that. But without a desire or even a soft dream, there's no purpose. It's the idea and the holding that it has to happen in a certain way and in a certain form, because that is the personal again, constriction. And when you allow, and you hear this time and time again of anyone that's been or reached some sort of joy or success in their own way in life, it's not in the way that they decided. I was a fashion designer, I had my own clothing line for 11 years. I didn't think, oh, I'm going to go, heal people's bodies. That was, or help them, work out anything that's sort of holding them back. That wasn't my idea. But somewhere along the way, we see that, like, oh, our plan, if it was written out when we were born, you're going to do this, this, and this, and this, it would be so boring. And so there was a part of me, like, I want to say, you know, at least in my 20s, where I really started to embrace, like, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to look like. And there is a freedom to that. And I know it's scary for some because some of us have control, you know, we want to control it because then we're going to feel safe. Also, our thoughts, our brain will do anything to keep us safe, but that is not safety. Like, there's no amount of lists and controlling and planning that one can map out for their life to keep you safe in that regard. There are many things that happen and transpire in someone's life, and then all of a sudden they're given a gift. You know, we can use someone like a Joe Dispenza, who, you know, was supposedly never going to walk again, and look at his life. Had he continued, you know, it's just one example, but had he continued on a path where he was, you know, a chiropractor and he never had that accident, he would have had some small practice somewhere, or maybe a big practice, but not the impact that he's had on the world and on the mainstream that now can embrace healing themselves and meditation. And I mean, countless other people like that, right? So, and it can be anyone. It can be a filmmaker, it can be a writer, it can be anything. And it doesn't have to be it in my work. What I see is it can be somewhere where someone just sees the shackle that they were holding themselves to just drop away.
Yeah, very beautiful. Thank you so much, Natalia. And for the meditation, do you wish to do it now or until the end of the no? Okay.
I think we should do it. Maybe we can do it now or after. It doesn't, whatever you think.
Yeah, we can do it now.
Okay, perfect. You ready? Okay. All right. Okay. So I invite anyone to either sit or lay down, whatever is more comfortable, and close your eyes and go in. And do a little bit of sound. So take some deep breaths through the nose. And then slowly exhale through the mouth. Count of 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to bring the energy up through either your sit bones, right into the root, and simultaneously through the feet. So you're going to bring the energy up through the earth, into the soles of the feet, and allow this energy to just move up through the ankles and the calves, and all the way up to the knees, and then through the thighs, filling up the root chakra at the base of the spine. And we're going to pull this energy down into the earth. This just allows us to ground. Pull this energy all the way down towards the feet. And then into the center of the earth, grounding us. And we're going to bring that energy up, all the way up through the second chakra and up to the solar plexus, and all the way up to the heart chakra, right where the sternum is. And I'm going to open up the heart, the front of this heart center, and the back between the shoulder blades. And just focus on the middle of the center between the back and front of the heart. And just breathe into the heart center and allow for the expansion. And as we expand the heart center, I'm just going to hold this cylinder, this container, about 4 feet in diameter all around you. So there's an electromagnetic current that runs from and into the heart center for every individual about 3 feet, and they can measure that. We can expand it infinitely. We're going to hold this right now. And what I invite you to do, since we're playing with the energy of joy and abundance and love, is to call in something or an idea of what is joy for you. It might be something in nature. It might be people that you know or have seen laughing, playing. It might be an experience that you've had. Whatever it is, whatever comes to you is right. Just hold that vision, that feeling. Now let the experience go away and just gather and keep the feeling of it. So it's like you're putting that feeling in your pocket or keeping it. It's yours to hold. And now we're going to go and find, remember, abundance. So abundance can be the sun rising, the sun setting tirelessly every day. And it'll do this for billions of years to come. And there's no shortage of sun, we would say. Abundance can be color. We see color. We see the blue sky. We see the white clouds. We see the green grass. We see the brown soil. Everywhere we look with our eyes, we can perceive color. We can think of abundance as the ocean, the waves. They come in, they go out. There's an abundance to this flow because it doesn't start and it doesn't stop. It's continual. So hold that feeling, the feeling of how much is abundant in our life. And now we'll go to love. Love is a sound. Maybe it's a sound of laughing. Maybe it's a giggle. Maybe it's a baby or a child sleeping. Maybe it's the feeling of someone's hand cupping yours. Maybe it's the smell of something cooking. Maybe it's that feeling of being taken care of by another. There are so many ways we've experienced love, in all of the ways that love is and shows up. Love is infinite. Love is always, always available to us. Love is everywhere we look if we just open our eyes to it and sense in of the feeling that is love. So we're going to bring the energy of love like a figure eight from into the heart center, and then it'll cross right at the center of the body and out the back. So we receive love and we give love. We have to allow for both because it's a flow. And now I invite you to drop the vision or the idea you have about love and instead hold on to the vibration that it is. How does it make your cells feel? How is it feeding your cells right now? All the cells in your body. Can you feel the senescent cells, the ones that are ready to drop off, leave your body? We thank them, we don't need them anymore, because this vibration is higher. So we can clear and uncreate anything that isn't of this high vibration that is in every thing that ever was and ever is and ever has been created. And then the last thing we'll ask is holding this feeling in our body and in our field that runs outside our body. What would have to occur for me to let this feeling go? So, what would have to happen for me not to want to feel this? Nothing. Because this is free. This is available for you always, in all ways. So, we're going to wrap your fields in a cocoon so you can hold this vibration. So, you might feel this from the head all the way down below the feet. Say thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for allowing my body to feel this. And thank you for remembering this feeling. And you can open your eyes when you're ready.
Beautiful. That was very, very beautiful, very grounding, relaxing, and also I felt the energy like expanding more, especially in the heart, and also surrounding my body. And there was also a feeling of ease, like things can be easy. Uh, yeah, I felt that, and yeah, it was really, really wonderful. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Natalia. And also, everyone, we'd love to hear your feedback. What was your experience? You can type that on the chat boxes, and we will take questions in a couple of minutes. Just before that, Natalia, I would love if you can tell us a little bit about the one-on-one session you are offering. It's a 60 minutes one-on-one session. And the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia. Natalia. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description. And I will put it on the chat boxes on Zoom and YouTube. So yeah, Natalia, I would love if you can tell us about the session.
Sure. So I think, as I said, I work with people that want to move through injury or physical pain. And usually in a one-on-one session, I discuss a little bit right off the top just to see what they want me to address. But I also am quite perceptive and intuitive. So while I'm working, I usually open up the 7 embodied chakras. And that's profound in and of itself, because what happens when the energy centers get opened is the flow of energy in the physical body is more readily moved. So if someone's having any sort of physical pain, my hands can work. I should probably explain because I use my hands a lot. My hands work almost like little wands. I can, I don't know if anyone wants to put their hands up at the screen, but if you put your hands even to the screen, you may, even I've had clients do that and I'm like, what? They can feel the energy coming off of them. And so what happens is I can go into someone's field and I can feel where the vibration is static, sort of stagnant, rather blocked. And I can easily move that out so we can see pain shift really quickly. But, and it can be tooth pain. I mean, it's kind of amazing. It's kind of one of my favorite things to do, but it can be, you know, anything in the body, but it also can be emotional stuff, which there's a vibration that works in our minds and our, you know, obviously off our temporal lobes and our prefrontal cortex. And so when that energy is shifted, then we see shifts. So we work with the people that have headaches and such, and then they don't. And then it's just balancing the whole body and really empowering the person so that they can get in tune, because we're all capable of this, and we're all supposed to be, like I said, our energy is supposed to be free so that we can focus on creating and not on, you know, physical blockages and such. So that's a little bit so that's what I do in a one-on-one, working through the system and then opening up, and then obviously taking everyone's, you know, personal, where they are personally into account, because it's very organic. I don't do the same thing with every person. And sometimes it starts completely different with, you know, with one person than it does with another. And the results are always different each time, even if I work with someone. So it's fun. It's always fun.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Natalia.
You're so
Yeah, I'll be
welcome.
grateful to you. And yeah, like you mentioned, when we are able to maybe remove that energy that is blocking, or maybe helping to create more flow, it really, like you said, like frees the energy or the space for us to just move forward easier. And
Yeah.
yeah, it brings more fun also, like you mentioned,
Yes.
in life. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for offering your support. And again, everyone, you can sign up for the one-on-one session on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, Natalia. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page, the link on YouTube video description, and on the chat boxes. And yeah, so can we take maybe a couple questions from the audience?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone, for that, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions on Zoom, then raise hand, or you can type your question on the chat boxes. And we have feedback from Ellen. Thank you, Natalia, and all. Great to have the power of intention. Thank you. And the feedback and also question from Jenny. That felt wonderful. Thank you, Natalia. Once of your smile when describing your meditation experience was so pure and bright. Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful.
And the question is, would you talk a little about moving through an uncomfortable experience while holding joy? How we actually do it?
Yeah, sure. Good question. So I don't believe in looking at an uncomfortable or painful experience and going so deep into it that you have to relive it and peel back the layers and peel back the layers, because in essence, what we are dealing with is something that will never stop, right? There's infinite amount of layers under the layers. And I'm not saying that we don't have to look at something and make aware of what might be, where our attention or where our pain is coming from. But there doesn't have to be a deep, study of it, because what that does is it reminds the body and the mind and everything else, the nervous system, of the trauma. So we can make aware of what it is. There was, let's say, X that happened in my life, but that is being held in the body, and it's being held in the body not as an experience so much, but as a vibration. So what we do is we tend to, as I said, work on moving the body's vibration up. And we can feel, again, like I said, you can usually feel into where it's being held in the body. And sometimes it's in multiple places. And the letting go of it really is about recognizing, maybe sometimes it's not always recognized, because sometimes it doesn't always come from something we can remember from this lifetime, but the feeling of it can be sensed. So this feeling of it in an area of our body, when that's shifted, what usually happens is it drops off because the vibration is moved out of the field. So when I said that even our beliefs are thoughts. Sometimes they're just passed on to us, but they're held outside in our field, and then they become something that we start to hold in our body. So we have a belief that milk is bad and milk is going to make my stomach, I'm going to get stomach aches or something if I eat dairy. That informs what's going on in the body. Now, I'm not saying that you might not have lactose intolerance or something, but the truth of the matter is that's a belief and a thought form that carries an energetic vibration that then goes slower as our physical bodies are denser, slower matter, starts to be held in our body. And we always tell us, oh, I get sick every time I eat cheese pizza. Well, you've just informed your body of what's going to happen, because that is how powerful we are. So there is an idea that you can look at a situation that's caused you pain or, obviously something that you would like to release. And in holding a vibration of love or joy, you can recognize it. And like I said, that vibration can be moved out of the field. We were never supposed to hold on to, there's supposed to be, remember I said there's a flow. So when you're holding on to a story or the power that holds over you, then you're clenching, you're constricting. So it's about moving the energy. And it doesn't matter if it's a dense energy. It doesn't matter how dire it was. It can be moved out of the field. And you can start to see how the energy runs through the body. And once you start to experience that, you really do start to see, like, okay, this doesn't have the power over me anymore, because I am not, my mind also is not going to that problem all the time or going back to the memory. And there are many things that we do within the work, but it really is about releasing the story. We've heard that before. If you release the story that it holds, then it doesn't carry the same weight, because it's a memory, so it's in the past. I don't know if that helped.
Thank you. It's very encouraging and exciting, the way you're describing that. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. And one more thing, it should be encouraging, because if you look at our lives and what some people may have experienced, it's not about the collection of, like I said, the good and bad and the things that we would have a perception of, but it's about moving through them. And when we keep going back to something that's in the past, we keep moving our energy backward. And there is a beauty to knowing that it can be there and we can see it, but we don't have to move into it. Yeah, it's a place of power. It's a place of our power, because we're that creative.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, Natalia, and also thank you, Jenny, for your question. And Ellen, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Natalia. Thank you for taking.
Of course.
Yeah, I would like to share what was happening in my body around the heart. A lot of I went with it and stayed in this positive feeling you were setting, the intention, what I was writing in the comments, and then so much heat came up, really like burning everything around my heart torso in the physical. And I think I felt the first time really fear in my heart. And then, I stayed, and it wasn't, you were holding the meditation. I wouldn't have stayed there, but I stayed, and afterwards I was really, wow. So there is more widening, and then of course my head started to think about it, what it might be or not, might not be, but so it's really a shift here from, I think, even from my thinking, and the belief system.
Beautiful. And so did you feel that move after the fear came up, and then it got sort of pushed out because the frequency of love is higher? Did you feel anything in any part of your body that's been holding that fear?
Yeah, I really, when I'm talking to you as well, it's still in the torso, around the spine. There's still a lot of fear vibrations. I can really feel that.
Do you have pain in your body, Ellen? Do you hold
sometimes when I really concentrate on it, and
like your lower back into the spine? Yeah. Okay. I'll just move that now. We'll just get it out since you brought it up. So if you close your eyes, you're just going to let me know. The energy usually feels like warm, but I'll go into the front of your hip bones, and you just let me know when you feel that.
I feel that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to come around your lower back. So with you, it's not so much that I'm moving pain, but I'm moving fear, which is just it's a really slow, dense vibration. So I can feel it. So I'm in your lower back, coming around. It's almost, the way I see it, it's going to sound strange, but it's almost like a black cylinder box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw it. So it's almost the whole width of your lower back, in the back, through the spine. So I'm going to lift this right up.
Whoa.
So I'm going to come back into the front of your hips and just around your lower back. Yeah, so now it just moves freely. And I'm going to go all the way up your spine. And just breathe really lightly and easily, all the way up to the base of your skull. And then I'm going to come over the top of your head. I'm just going to move that right off the prefrontal cortex and at the back of the head. Do you feel that leaving the back of your head?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. There we go. All right. How do you feel now?
More liveliness, like I can feel even my fingertips, everything, and my toes, and so the energy is really my original, the essence is more vibrating.
So it's
Thank you. Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah, good. So now it should run up through your toes and into your feet and all the way up your legs, just freely. and I want it to run. Let me just make sure it's running all the way through your torus field. So come up above your head and just run again. So that's good. So if something like that comes up, like fear, that's amazing. You're like, great, you showed up. Now you can move on. You can move on. Say bye-bye.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be afraid of any emotions that come forward, because they're there. They come in. But like we said, this is the whole idea. They're going to come in and leave. And that's beautiful that you were able to say, oh, it came through, and then I was able to move it through. But now we just want it moved out of your field. Yeah. Beautiful. Good.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're
And
so-
it
you're
seems
so- you're so-
something like has been there. There was a fear of the fear in the mindset. And now it's just, well, okay.
Okay.
It's just, yeah. Thank you for encouraging me.
Of course, you're
Thank you.
beautiful. You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, Ellen. And also thank you very much, Natalia, for the support. And yeah, so yeah, we already reached the hour. So do you have maybe any message before we complete the call?
No, I think that's beautiful what Ellen just shared, that something came up and she didn't judge it. She just allowed for it to come through. And that is what I would say to encourage anyone that's going through anything, whether it be emotional or physical. It's just moving through. And if you can find a practice or a ritual or a way to reconnect to the heart and reconnect to this emotion, then all of the other stuff, as it comes through, you can see it, but you can also know that it really will just move through. It does. Whether it be something that we want to leave behind or something that's in front of us that we're afraid of. It's just about sitting in the space we're in right now and allowing it to flow, because we're not unlike water. We're mainly water, right? So water needs to flow. It needs to move. It's constantly, I was going to say restructuring. In my house, it is. We drink structured water. But it's this idea that we're supposed to have these emotions. We're just not supposed to hold them.
Very beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Natalia.
Thank
for
you
that message, for the support you gave to our callers, and also everything you shared today. It was really inspiring.
Yes.
And also, I love the meditation. So
Thank
you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your beautiful energy and your beautiful community. And I'm sending you so much love, and anyone that's on this call now or in the future.
Yeah. Wonderful. And also, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today, for creating with us this experience. Thank you for really beautiful energies. And yeah, so again, you can sign up for the one-on-one 60-minute private session with Natalia on the link yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, yourdivineuniqueness.com/Natalia, Natalia. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, the replay page, YouTube description, and the chat boxes. And I just now remembered that you are offering a gift. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Oh, right.
There is a link about it on the live events page, and it will be also on the replay and YouTube description later. So it's sound body meditation. So maybe if you can just tell us very briefly.
Sure. Yeah, it's a short meditation that I do, and I use some sound bowls and tuning forks, but it's mainly about centering into the heart and breathing into that space. And you sort of, what happens is, if you connect with it, what happens is that you start to feel your field grow and encompass your whole head and your feet in a really beautiful sort of light bubble. And I think that, as I said, that the intention in the meditation is to remember that we're more than these physical bodies. And it's a short, quick way to sort of get there.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And yeah, again, everyone, the download link is on the live events page, replay page, and I will put it on YouTube in a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And yeah, everyone, so I send you so much love, and then we see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.